Hey friends, I want to teach you today. What do you do when that health ailment comes knocking at your door and your brain locks down, shuts up, and goes into fear, and you don't even know how to pray? I tell you, I know a little bit about mind battles. How do I know? Because I wrote the book on it, guys. I hate to even admit it, but I wrote the book on mental battles, and it all had to do with health and healing. You'll hear a lot about that in my new book, Healed at Last. But let's talk about it. What do you do when fear tries to grip you? You got to evict it. You got to kick it out. You don't have time to fear. If it paralyzes you for the moment, breathe through it, get up, worship, pray, and tell it to get out, that it's not going to come knocking at the door of your mind. Why am I telling you this? Because I spent too many years locked down to fear. These mental battles that I had were so much about health ailments when things went wrong. I always thought worst case scenario, guys, fear gripped me because the devil probably didn't want this book coming out, okay? But I want to tell you, you can maneuver through the fear. You can get your healing. You just got to know the tools. And so the biggest tool I'm going to tell you when fear comes knocking at your door because you've given an adverse health diagnosis, you've got something manifested in your body, grab a friend, grab your spouse, grab an accountability partner, grab a prayer partner, a son, a daughter, somebody. You got to expose the enemy. You got to tell someone, I'm in fear. My mind is getting locked down. It's going into an unsafe, unhealthy place. Help me war, help me fight. Just for that moment, you're not asking them to war and fight through the whole moment. You're asking them, help me engage in this battle right now so that I can arise and fight against the condition that's manifesting in my body, against the diagnosis, whatever it is. You can do it. The question is, will you do it, friends? And that's what you have to do. Now, I want to say, I've been locked down for 3 hours, sometimes 36 hours. And so I know it's not as simple as you think or as, people would think it is. But a couple tools that you can do is I have a Mind Freedom audio CD. You can get it on my website, an MP3 or a CD version at kathydegrawministries.org. You can get it anywhere you listen to music, anywhere that's streamed. It's Mind Freedom with Steve Swanson, Joshua Mills, and Kathy DeGraw. And I tell you, I would play that thing for myself, honestly, after I recorded it and I had a mind battle come at me, because it's coaching, it's prayers, it's accountability. It's telling someone, don't let the enemy bring you down that wrong path, because when he does, you can't fight. I remember one time being in a hotel, my husband was with me. I was going to record, and the enemy just came in with a vengeance. And I tell you, it was nasty. And my husband's like, Kathy, you just let all the dominoes fall. You just let the enemy grab your mind and run with it. And you got to get someone to war and fight with you. You got to, have someone pull you out of it. It's no different. Last night I got some bad news about my dad, and my husband's like, how are you? And I'm like, that was hard news. And so he just came over and prayed for me and gave me a little shoulder massage, some love, a hug, and just supported me. And that's what we need sometimes in those moments of torment, those moments that fear is gripping us because we have a health attack. But as I've talked about in my book, guys, I've had 17 healings, and I've had some big things attack my body. I've had, cancer try and attack my body. I've had torn rotator cuffs try and attack my body. I've had hypertension try and attack my body, root canal, things that can be concerning. And I always just went to war. I got out my anointing oil. If you don't have some of this, guys, we sell it on our website. You can get it on Amazon. Type in Kingdom Sense in Amazon, and that's our brand. I prayed over it, anointed it, blessed it, and everything for you. But I would just anoint myself and go to war. I would fight. And that's what you got to do. First thing that you have to do is pull your mind out of the mental battle so that you can fight. Because otherwise, you get locked down. You're in this stinking thinking, right? And you're just like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to maneuver out of this. And you think worst case scenarios, like when I had the attack and they were looking for cancer and everything, I never thought I'm going to die. Never. Okay. And you can't even allow those thoughts to come in. You can't. You got to evict them. And so I want to encourage you, get in a partnership with somebody, a mentorship, get in accountability, find some crazy faith friends. If you don't have any, we're here for you at Kathy DeGraw Ministries. And don't let fear grip you. But you also have to identify the fear. When I was writing Mind Battles, I have struggled with fear for years, but I even found more than fear, it was torment that was plaguing me. And so I'm like, okay, I had to learn how to get through the torment and work through the torment. So you even got to identify, is this stress? Is this anxiety? Is this depression? Is this fear? Is this torment? Is this trauma? Is this worry? Even identifying those things. And I have that in this book of how to identify it. It wasn't until I was writing the book that I'm like, okay, I think I'm misfiring a little bit here. I think I got more torment than fear when you define them and everything. And so, yeah, I just really want to encourage you to rise up in faith. Have that faith over fear. Say, no, I'm not going to be in fear. Talk to yourself. Talk yourself out of the fear. Just be like, no, battle, you're not going to come. My mind's not going to go in that direction. And you got to think positive, because really positivity is the key to your victory. If we think negative and healing, we're adding to our condition because there's stress and anxiety and all of that other stuff. And so that is really hard too. And so I want to encourage you to be like, you know what? I'm going to rise above my situation. I'm going to permeate myself in scriptures. Like I said, get my Mind Freedom CD. And I'm going to just like let that wash over me. I let healing scriptures wash over me. Joshua Mills has a great healing CD. And so I would let those healing scriptures just wash over me so that it would help renew my mind, put me at peace, because, peace is just instrumental. We need that peace. And so I want to, for you to really think about, what can I do to overcome this fear? What can I do to move it aside? How can I not react in fear? Even last week I was thinking about it. I reacted in fear for so long. Sometimes my mind, the neural pathways still want to react in fear. And I was thinking about it. Okay, how do I overcome that? How do I never have another fearful moment in my life when it comes to a medical or a health ailment? I mean, wouldn't that be a beautiful thing? And so I was looking at the trauma, and I was looking at some root entry points. I was sitting before the Lord, and I ended up spending 4 hours with the Lord to be like, okay, show me. And I know he still wants to show and reveal. I got to go back to it, but I had processed all that I could handle for that moment. Sometimes we just get overwhelmed for the moment. But I want to encourage you, friends. My book, Healed at Last, will help you overcome your medical fear, your health fear, because there's so many testimonies in it. It helps you because I walk you through it. And it has over 500 declarations to claim and decree over your body. So if you haven't grabbed this book yet, I want you to grab it today on Amazon, KathyDeGrawMinistries.org, or wherever books are sold. I can't wait to hear your testimony, and I'm praying for you to be healed at last.